Okay, let us start the session today. So, in this session, I am going to discuss on laws of thermodynamics called so-called, that is namely zeroth law, first law, and second law. So these three laws are very important, and there is one more law that is called third law, and that I will discuss after entering the entropy. So these are also very essential one. First one is called zeroth law. So initially there was no zeroth law. First they have learned about first law, and after that they got some information about temperature. So after this one, they have named one more law, that is called zeroth law. What is meant by zeroth law? It is the basis for temperature. Okay, so what is that is basis for this one? Okay, so what is a temperature? What is zeroth law of thermodynamics? Now we will discuss. So temperature is a measure of hotness or coldness. So how hot the liquid is, a solid is or gas is, how cold the gas, liquid, and the other solid objects. So that is to measure this hotness. We use the word called temperature. First thing. Okay. So next, what is zeroth law of thermodynamics? That is, I will explain clearly. You just observe and get the things easily. That is, if two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with a third body, the two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with each other. That means if two bodies separately in thermal equilibrium with a third body, then the two bodies are said to be in thermal equilibrium. Let us take the example of A. This is one object, this is another object. If A is in thermal equilibrium, this is a third object, third body. So if A is in equilibrium with C and B is in equilibrium with C, then A and B are said to be in equilibrium. That means A is equal to C, B is equal to C, then A is equal to B. That is the zeroth law of thermodynamics. How do you understand this? So first let me explain the word heat. So heat generally moves from high temperature to low temperature till they are equilibrium. They have the same temperature. You got my point? So suppose if a rod is there, so if rod, if it temperature, if you start heating at this end, Okay, so this temperature increases, and when this temperature increases, and that means heat increases by the supply of this heat, and it starts flowing to this end. Okay, so how how when this stops heating, that means if the temperature at this end is suppose 100 degrees centigrade, and this temperature is suppose 0 degrees centigrade, so the heat when we supply may reach this end up to this temperature reaches 100 degrees centigrade, then it stops flowing. When this temperature and this temperature equals, and there is no difference between these two ends, that means we can say the heat flow is stopped. Whenever there is a difference in temperature between 2 points or between two bodies, then we can say there is a flow. If there is no difference between any 2 points, then we can say then heat flows. So it is also like water flowing, like I will I will give an example. Okay, so water is full of this is there water, and you are filling with this one, what do you call, in this another vessel by opening this one. So the water starts entering to this one, and this part is filling up to what level? When these two level reaches same level, then water stops flowing, then we can say that is in equilibrium. In this case we talk about what you call this, I can say this water example, I can say it is a mechanical equilibrium, and in this case we are talking about heat only. So the heat starts flowing when there is a difference in temperature between two bodies or 2 points. So you got my point. So what is that point I have told you? So suppose if the temperature is here 100 degrees centigrade and it is 50 degrees centigrade Celsius. Okay, so then the heat starts flowing into A. At what level? Some temperature, it loses some temperature, it gains some temperature, it loses some heat, it gains some heat. So suppose it is reaching at 70, and this is also 70, like that. So these two 70 becomes same temperature, then there is we can say that A and C are in equilibrium. Okay, have you understood that? Okay, like that this is also same, and if you keep this body on that one, and it is also having something that is like okay, separately I am using same, and it is also reaching 70, not 70, I am taking arbitrary points. So this also equal, then B is in thermal equilibrium, that means no flow of heat. That one more thing, they have the same temperature. One more thing, that the temperature difference between B and C is 0. You understand my point? T2 minus T3, I can say temperature difference is 0. That means T2 is equal to T3. Got my point? T2 is equal to T3. Like this, T1 minus T3, that we can call delta T, that is dt is equal to 0, that is equal to T1 is equal to T3. Got my point? This we call, this example tells us that if two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with the third body, then the AB, that is first two objects, will also be in thermal equilibrium. That is the same thing happened. Okay, so what the zeroth law of thermodynamics states, if two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with the third body, they are also in thermal equilibrium with each other. Okay, so I will also give practical example, that you are in a room, okay, your AC is working, and it is operating at to 27 degrees centigrade. Okay, you have set the temperature of the air conditioner at to 27 degrees centigrade. After some time, this room also reaches 27 degrees. Am I right or not? Right. So if you keep a bottle of water in this room, this also reaches some temperature. So at what temperature? Sometime this also, after some time, this bottle also attains the temperature as 27 degrees. Okay, so this is C, this is A, room is A, this is also B. Or if you want to have this one, you also keep another bottle at 32 that is 5 degrees or 10 degrees, okay, or 32 degrees, it will lose and it is gain. That process is there. So what I wanted to tell, that if the body temperature, room temperature, bottle water temperature and your thermometer, that is AC temperature, all are same. So that is zeroth law of thermodynamics. You should have understood this one. At some time, even if you keep something that is called heater like, so heater will have something. Heater temperature is 32 degrees centigrade, suppose. Okay, so the room temperature is 17 degrees centigrade. After some time, this may reach some 25 degrees centigrade, and they are in equilibrium. So equilibrium means what? There is no difference. Any equilibrium we have already derived, that is any equilibrium. What is that? Thermal equilibrium, mechanical equilibrium, or chemical equilibrium, whatever equilibrium. So thermal means it is temperature. That means equilibrium means the difference between 2 points, 2 bodies is zero. There is no potential for the movement. There is no chance to movement. Then we call this as equilibrium. So this is enough for us for now. That is about zeroth law of thermodynamics. And one more thing is, this is the basis for temperature. That how do you measure? How do you measure the body temperature of a human being? The body temperature of a human being. So if you keep that thermometer in your mouth, that the thermometer mercury gets heated up or evaporated or something, and because of that heat, it reaches some height. That height will show, that is a scale, that the body temperature is 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The body temperature, normal temperature is 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so that your body temperature and thermometer temperature becomes or brings or comes to thermal equilibrium. Then only till that equilibrium, that thermometer starts flowing. You understand my point? That also. So what you have to understood from this is, okay, so you have to, and that means you are using a thermometer to measure your body temperature. That we call it as a scale, thermometer or the temperature scale. So we will discuss about temperature scale. So what is temperature scale? A temperature scale that is independent of the properties of any substance is called thermodynamic temperature scale. So what is how many scales we use frequently? We use frequently, very frequently, that is Fahrenheit, Celsius and Kelvin. So Fahrenheit that we use for our body temperature, and this is sometimes we use the atmospheric temperature or some other temperature, we are also use this one. Okay, and there is called Kelvin, and there is Rankine, but Rankine we use very often. but we don't use frequently. So this is Kelvin. So this is represented by degrees Fahrenheit, and this is degrees Celsius, and this is Kelvin. We don't use degrees here in this case. Okay, so that is another scale called Rankine scale. So your body temperature, to measure your body temperature, you use Fahrenheit scale. In chemistry laboratories or any say, laboratories or physics laboratories, we may use Celsius, that is degree C. So first thing is we use degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius, but we don't use degree Kelvin. We simply use capital K. Okay, so we have discussed in, that is units and dimension, that Kelvin you will have the capital K. Small k means it is for kilo. Okay, so this capital K is fixed for Kelvin scale. Okay, so how many scales we have? Fahrenheit scale, Celsius scale, and Kelvin scale. So this we call it the absolute scale. And what is and you must also become an expert to convert one scale into another scale without any doubt or hesitation. Got my point? So I will explain what is temperature scale. And generally a temperature scale will have 2 points for our engineering purpose. One is called freezing. One is called freezing point. Freezing means ice making. That is why it is also called ice point. That is for water how much, that I will tell. One more thing is boiling point. So what is boiling point? So freezing point or ice point, boiling point or steam point we use. So that is suppose a scale is there. Okay, so first thing, lower one is called freezing point, upper one is called, that is boiling point or steam point. What my point? So this is freezing point. So water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, so in Celsius, and water boils at atmospheric pressure at, that is roughly nearly 100 degrees Celsius. So 100 is the lowest scale, and sorry, 0 is the lowest scale, 100 is the highest scale. This may be more, that while defining these thermodynamic scales, they have fixed 2 points. One is called freezing point, the other one is called boiling point. The freezing point is also called as ice point, and the boiling point is also called as steam point. We will discuss now what are these. Okay, so water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius and boils at 100 degrees centigrade. Okay, so like that in Fahrenheit it is 32 degrees, and boiling point is to 12 degrees Fahrenheit. So this 100 degrees Celsius is converted into Fahrenheit. So this conversion we have to learn. Like that at 0 degrees Celsius equal to 273.15 Kelvin, and boils at 100 plus 273, it is Kelvin. Like that that is called Rankine. That the difference is this one. Rankine is very much, that is a scale. Okay, have you understood? So this is icy, that is called freezing point. This is called boiling point in Fahrenheit. This is called 0 degrees Celsius, that is called ice point or freezing point. This is called steam point or boiling point. And this is, so sometimes you will be asked what is the freezing point in Kelvin. So you must say this is 273.15. Okay, so these things you have to keep in mind. Then the temperature, thermodynamic temperature scale in SI is Kelvin, that is represented by capital, and in English system it is American system. I am not going to discuss that one. Okay, next one is how to convert this. This is called conversion. Okay, conversion of one scale into another scale. What is this formula tells you that this is from Celsius to Kelvin. So to convert the data, that is about temperature data, you have to simply add 273.15, then you will have, so that means for 100 degrees Celsius you have to add this 1.5, that becomes 373.15 K, capital K. Don't put this 0. Okay, and this is directly, that is C to F. So these two are very common, and you must able to, sometimes the data may be given in Celsius, then you have to convert this and Kelvin, that is to apply for gas laws, thermodynamic properties, all these things. Okay, we use only this type of scale, and this one we have to add this one. So this 32 is that is called freezing point, then it is. So to convert what is called Celsius of 100 degrees, how much it will become? 1.8 into 100 plus 32. How much it is? 180 plus 32, that is 212. That becomes what do you call? This is 212 is the boiling point. If it is 0, C is 0. 0 is for steam, that is called ice point, that is called freezing point. Then you will have 32F, and you also can use degrees for it here, but you don't use degrees for that one because it is not having 0 value. That is why the minimum temperature is this one, and after that it is having negative values. That is the important, and you can simply convert Kelvin into Rankine. So that nothing wrong, and engineer must be, you might have observed in that is called units and dimensions, that I have explained in another video. If you want, you can go through that one. Okay, so next one is so this is all about zeroth law of thermodynamics. What zeroth law of thermodynamic that is law tells you that if two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with another body, then the other two bodies also will be in equilibrium. So that is the basis for the temperature measurement. If you keep any thermometer, the thermometer shows or stops that is moving of the measuring fluid up to they till they reach the equilibrium. So equilibrium means the temperature, thermodynamic equilibrium means the temperature difference is 0. Thermodynamic equilibrium means the temperature difference is 0. Okay, so now I'll move on to first law of thermodynamics. So first law of thermodynamics, before that first law of thermodynamics, I wanted to take up what is heat, because this first law of thermodynamics tells about heat and work done. So I will recollect. So that is what is a heat. Heat is a form of energy that is transferred from two systems or from system to surroundings by virtue of temperature difference. What is that virtue of difference? If heat is to be flown into another area, maybe system to surrounding or system to system, there must be some temperature. The two bodies or system will have one temperature and surroundings will have another temperature. Then heat will start flowing from higher temperature to lower temperature. That is about heat. Got my point? So heat is a form of energy that is transferred between two systems or a system and its surroundings by virtue of temperature difference. This is okay. So if heat is to be transferred, it is the hot body under degree centigrade kept in another hot body which is also 100 degree centigrade. So you can expect that there is no flow of heat because the temperature difference is 0. If the temperature difference is that is if it is 90, then the temperature difference is 10, then heat starts flowing from 100 to 90, not from 90 to 100. That is some system is there. Okay, so that is next. Heat transfer into the system is taken as a positive. In our cases, heat transferred into the system is taken as a positive. Heat transferred or removed into the surroundings or into the other body, we can call it as Q is negative. That one more thing. So heat added or heat rejection. Heat added is positive, that is you are adding. So heat rejection you are borrowing, so that is negative. Okay, so heat is not a point function, that is why heat is not a point function. You remember this point. So heat suppose that what is that it mean, what is the heat at this point, you cannot say. You can say temperature. What is the temperature here, T1? So that if T1 cell if we more, then we can say there is more heat. So by the temperature we can tell what is the heat. But this point 1 is not showing any value of Q, that is why Q is not a point function. But temperature is a point function. Only point functions can be shown as a point. Because it is not a point function, but it is a path function. So you can say that we have learned in the processes, that is the area under the TS diagram is Q, that is heat rejected or heat added. So this is the path, that is why Q is a path function. By the path only we come to know how much heat is added or how much heat is rejected. So since it is a path function, that we cannot say simply Q1 2 is not equal to Q2 minus Q1 or Q1 minus Q2. No, it is process. This tells you the path, that is during the process 1 to 2 heat added, heat rejected, that is the meaning. So this is not the meaning. That is why the difference, a small amount, will be represented by delta Q. Delta Q indicates it is an inexact differential. If it is a difference is possible, that like that T2 minus T1 can be shown like dt, but we cannot use this delta T. We use dt, differentiable. Point functions are differentiable and path functions are not differentiable. So that is about Q. Because to define the first law of thermodynamics, we need these two words called heat and work. Got my point? What you have learned from this one? What is heat? Heat is an energy which is transferred between two systems, from hot to cold, cold to hot, whatever it is. So from cold to hot, atmosphere to, okay, from the system to atmosphere, all these things. That is why heat is not at a fixed, it is in transition, that is it is in transition, it is in moving or move. Heat is on move. Okay, so heat added can be taken as positive and heat rejected can be taken as negative. What is that? I have shown through this picture that I am adding this heat, then Q is positive, and I am letting out of this heat, that is why Q can be taken as Q negative. Okay, so the amount of heat transferred during the process. So In the process only the heat comes into the picture, not at the point, that is state 1. State 2 will not have the heat one, but state 1 to 2, state 1 means having some values. To reach that state 2, the values must be changed, then this Q is added. What happens if Q is added? Temperature increases, entropy increases, enthalpy increases, like that. Okay, so this small q, that is a small q, indicates that it is a specific property. Then this is capital Q by M. This is an extensive property. It is an extensive, but it is not practically, but it is a that one quantity. You can say that. Next process, that is work. So this we have discussed already during the processes. Like heat, work is also an energy and interaction between the system and surroundings. Okay, so heat and work are directional quantities. In what direction? That is added or rejected into the system or out of the system. That is direction. Okay, like heat, we also use small w, capital W. If it is capital W, that that is the quantity. Then there is the mass involvement. Like that, work done by the system is positive, work done on the system is negative. That is, when you are supplying the work done, it is negative. When you are getting the work done, then it is positive. That also you can take it. Work done, that means if piston able to compress the gas, then it is called as work done. That is work done on the system. If the gas is able to move the piston, then we can say system is this gas. Here the system is gas, so the gas is able to move the piston, then we can say work done by the system is this one. Okay, so the small infinitesimal, I have used small w. Why? Because this delta shows that it is an inexact differential. That means if you integrate this one, suppose delta w is equal to w12, but in your integration you might have observed 1 into dx 1 to 2 is equal to x2 minus x1. Then I can write like this one dx. So that is not the case here, delta. So these are the point function, but it is a path function. To explain path function, we use suffix 1-2, let 2-3, or otherwise 3-4, 4-1, like that one. 1 to 2 process 1 to 2 to 1, that is process 2 to 1. So this is inexact differential. If you carry out this integration, this is equal to this, that it is not equal to w2 minus w1. Okay, so w1. So take care of this one. So this is all about work and heat. So what is the heat and work are not point functions, they are the path functions. Only after some time, only after passing some path, that is having some path, then we can say it is added, it is rejected, work done by the system, work done on the system. By the system, on the system. Heat added, positive. Heat rejected, negative. Work done by the system, positive. Work done on the system is negative. By the system means that is gas able to move. That is called by the system. And this is on the system. That is, we are supplying power, work done, work to this piston, then piston is able to compress. So for compressors, all these things, that is on the system. Okay, for turbine like this one, we call this as by the system. There we able to get the work done. Okay, so this is all about what you call work and heat. Then what is first law of thermodynamics? So this is the first law. First law can also be called as nature's law. Nature's law. Nature law means it is happens in nature. It's not a particularly mechanical engineering. It happens in every case, in any case. So that is why it is called nature law. Nature law means this first law of thermodynamics can also be called as principle of law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. First law can also be called as law of conservation of energy. What law of conservation of energy says us that neither energy be created nor be destroyed during a process. It can only change its form. That means potential energy is converted into kinetic energy, or kinetic energy is converted into mechanical energy, or potential energy, or pressure energy, or electrical energy. What that is? Mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy, chemical energy is converted into electrical energy, electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy. All this happens. So you are not creating any energy, or you are not able to destroy that energy, but you can change the form of energy. So we are getting air displaced through this fan. So fan is getting electrical energy, and fan is providing us mechanical energy. With that mechanical energy, air is being displaced. That is the meaning of energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. Okay, so what else tells that? So what is that? Energy going in. Energy may be here. You have to keep in mind that energy may be in this case either Q or W. So what is the first law of thermodynamics? We are supplying the heat, getting the work done. We are supplying the work done, getting the heat, something like. So there is the conversion of this one, this to this. So first law is nothing but conversion of, or for that matter, thermodynamics is nothing but Q and W. That's all. You remember this formula. This will done so many miracles in your getting, that will help you to learn more and more. Okay, so whatever energy comes in, that is energy, and whatever goes out, that is minus. Got my point? So this is a Q. I can show like this one. Q entered and work is done. So that is work done, but that is rotation of this shaft like. So Q is in, the Q added, that is positive. Work is done by the system. No. Okay. So work is something like. So this is all about Q minus W is equal to this one. You can say this one. If this becomes 0, then there is a full conversion, but that we are going to discuss in coming classes. Okay, what is that happening? So this is all about energy in minus energy out, that is net change in total energy. This capital E is for total energy, and this delta is used for change in energy. So during the process, or between this one is whatever total energy entering minus total energy leaving the system, we can call this as what is work done. Okay, so in energy we have so many. What is energy may consist of? We simply take only some of them. What is energy may having? It is internal energy, it may having kinetic energy, it may having potential energy, it may having another energies, but we mainly concentrate on this. So the total energy can be taken as internal energy, kinetic energy, potential energy. Okay, so what is that internal energy? If I use a small case, Okay, small case means it is a specific property. So u2 minus u1, okay, the change in gained lost like that one. So half mv square is kinetic energy, mgh or mgz is potential energy. That I have taken. You got my point? What is change energy? If you want, you can keep like this one, mu2 half plus half mv2 square plus mg2. This is second state. What is initial state? mu1, okay, I'll take the common factor, plus half mv1 square, okay, mv1 square and mgz1. This is another, okay, this is first entering and this is moving or going out. So this is the meaning of this one, that is delta E is nothing but a change in internal energy plus a change in kinetic energy, that is a change in potential energy. If you are having change in, that is total energy. So what you have to learn from this is that is Q, that is W, that is E. So this is the basic equation of first law of thermodynamics. You have to remember that. We use this formula forever. So you, even if you forget this one, so the delta E is nothing but this, that nothing but this. So in some cases we remove this, some omit some terms, in some cases we omit other things. So what you have learned from this, that is okay. So what is first law? You can define as in words, that is energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. But mathematically for first law, that is Q minus W is equal to delta E. This is energy, this is this one. So it is added, work is done, or all these things. So we use another thing, that is net. That is net. That net is this one. This may be having something. Okay. So this delta E, that is change in total energy, can be taken as change in internal energy, change in kinetic energy, change in potential energy. I am cautioning you to keep this in your mind. You write, repeating or chanting the law. So what first law? For that matter, thermodynamics first law, or thermodynamics simply first basic law, that is basic equation, we need to learn, and this may be applied many places. Okay. So according to first law, that is. So according to first law means you have to use this basic formula, and this may be changed because we are maybe omitting so many things. So that I will explain this one. For stationary systems, so the system is not moving. So not moving means velocity is 0, and if they having the same, there is no change in the elevation, then this kinetic energy and potential energy becomes 0. Therefore this delta becomes delta U. So for stationary system, that is Q minus W can be written as delta U. You understand? In the previous case it is delta E, that means total. In this kinetic energy is 0, potential energy is 0, then this becomes internal energy. For a closed system, what is meant by closed system? What is meant by closed system? Okay, so you can also use this formula, because this thing will also be changed, because there is no, that is closed system means there is no flow of mass remains constant. So in this also flow closed system also you are having this one. I am asking a little change, this can also be used. So I use this equation very frequently, that is du, same. Okay, so in that elaborative case, and for general system it is this one, for a stationary system this one, for a cyclic process means for initial and final states are equal, the change in energy becomes 0,